What's going on? Just letting the stream connection get right. What's going on, Robert? All right, just making sure this connection is straight. All right, here we go. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me now? Set this thing all right. All right, how about now? Can you hear me now? Cool, cool. All right. Yo, what's going on, Robert? Coach Marcus? Yeah, yeah. There we go. Cool. Got the squad in the building. What's going on? All right. There we go. All right, y'all. Yeah, man. I know y'all just got done checking out the coach, but I want to come over here and do my chat, do my live stream over here, chat with y'all, chop it up. What's going on, George? You know, today, man, I want to talk about this women's boxing. It's starting to get interesting now. Uh, definitely want to talk about this win Savannah Marshall had over Hannah Rankin, and her choice of words for Clarissa Shields. You know, she called out Clarissa Shields, so I want to talk about that. You know, I think it's going to be interesting, man. So I want to talk that. I definitely want to talk that women's boxing. But I want to go over and talk about the LFA 94 card as well. You know, give Lovett Patrick Young a shout out. She scored that first round knockout over Rena Norville. So we're gonna talk about that. What's going on with y'all, man? Yeah, coach said LDW MMAC, the women's mixed martial art universe is here. Yeah, man, this is where WMMA lives, man. It's online. That's where they're gonna catch it. Marcus, George, that was a good interview. Yeah, shout out to George, man. That was a good interview. If y'all didn't see that Love with Patrick Young interview, I caught it live. My stream kept acting up while I was watching it, but I caught a good portion of the last half of it, man. It was a good interview, man. Love with Patrick Young, she cool as hell too, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, George. Like I said, man, that was a good interview, man. Cause she opened up and talked about a lot of different things. She definitely seemed like a cool person, you know. So yeah, yeah. Check that interview out too, man. That was good. But yeah, man, what else I'm gonna talk about? I want to talk about the Tank Davis Leo Santa Cruz fight a little bit. You know, talk about this knockout. Why I think Tank deserves full credit for this one. You know, cause hey, it's like Coach said, Leo Santa Cruz he asked for this fight, man. So yeah, we're gonna go into that, man. But that main event, LFA 94, Lupita Benitez The way she dethroned Vanessa Demopoulos, man, that was a solid fight, man. That could have been fight of the year for women's MMA. I mean, if it wasn't for Joanna and Weili Zhang or Weili, that fight could definitely, if it wasn't for that fight, then this would be fight of the year, man. They really came in there, put it all on the line, man. I don't know, Coach. Did you ever get a chance to watch that fight yet? Did you watch that main event? I'm gonna have to go back and do my post fight analysis on it. I didn't put the video out yet. I still didn't put out my Love with Patrick Young video. I still need to put both of those out, man, because hey, both of those fights were good, man. LFA killed it. LFA killed it because first of all, what Thursday Bellator card, we were supposed to have Vita Arteaga versus what is her name, Desiree Yanez. That fight got canceled. Then we were supposed to have Courtney Casey versus Priscilla Cachoeira. That fight got canceled. So, hey, these fights on LFA definitely made up for it, though. They definitely made up for it. She said Robert Henry, Big George doing big things. Yeah, yeah. Robert Henry, what you doing? Oh, Sunday house cleaning. Oh, I thought you were about to say you were doing some flyweight division house cleaning. Because we're gonna talk about that flyweight division tomorrow, man. And that needs some house cleaning for real. 125-pound division needs some house cleaning for real. That's where the house cleaning needs to be done for real. George, you told that to Loveth in our interview. What did you tell her? What did you tell her, George? All right, let me get some water. Then we're gonna talk about this. Let me take a sip of water. Then we're gonna talk about this Savannah Marshall versus Hannah Rankin fight. Yeah, man. So Saturday night on that DAZN card, on the undercard of Alexander Usyk and Derek Chisora, Savannah Marshall, she came through. She made a big statement with the solid seventh round stoppage over Hannah Rankin. And yeah, she captured that WBO middleweight title. I think that Clarissa Shields held that title. And she really came in there in dominant fashion. And I mean, this is what you want to see from women's boxing. Like, you don't really see too many women turning over their punches like this and scoring big knockouts. Like the way Savannah Marshall came in there and really put in that work, the way she was able to use her height, the way she was able to use her jab and her footwork. I was really impressed with this fight, and it definitely makes me want to see her and Clarissa Shields in a official professional fight. Because as you know, Clarissa Shields, she lost to her in the amateurs. So Clarissa Shields wants that get back, and Savannah Marshall, she's definitely living up to that name. Is that fighter that beat her in the amateurs? That's how I feel right now. I feel like she is definitely that fight that's putting names on her resume. And not only is she putting names on her resume, she's knocking women out too. She's I think she's what 9-0 now with 6 knockouts or 7 knockouts. I'm gonna have to check, but she's definitely coming in here scoring knockouts. So she's definitely looking like a potential threat to Clarissa Shields right now. Because Clarissa actually fought Hannah Rankin not too long ago, like a year or two ago, and she beat her by decision. So I know a lot of people, a lot of haters, are going to try to compare that and say, "Oh, Savannah Marshall, she knocked her out. She did better." But you still got to look at Clarissa Shields because she's a much better technical fighter, and I think she's better on the inside. But Savannah Marshall, she definitely proved to be a solid puncher in there. Very solid boxer. kind of a herky jerky style. Kind of looks like Tyson Fury a little bit because she's 5'11". She's got these long arms and these long legs. So you really have to find a way to get her on the inside, but she's always moving. So I think that the more and more she puts her name on the map, maybe if she takes one or two more fights, but I think they might actually make Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall fight now. I really do. I think they might actually make that fight now, which I wouldn't be mad at because right now, women's boxing, it really needs a fight like this because they actually have a rivalry and they've been having a choice of words for each other as well. See, let me see here. Let me pull this record up real quick. Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall right now. Let me double check. Yeah, she's 9-0. Yeah, she's 9-0 with 7 knockouts. And let me see. She's got some decent competition on her resume. Definitely the way she's knocking people out, you definitely want to see her go in there and fight somebody like Clarissa Shields now. She's 29, and like I said, 5'11 and a half. That's definitely a tricky style. And I would like to see that. I'd like to see that fight between her and Clarissa Shields from the amateur. But yeah, man, real quick, just going back and looking at this Hannah Rankin fight, like, shout out to Hannah Rankin. I mean, I was actually going for her in this fight because I talked to her on Instagram a little bit. She seems pretty cool, and I like her style. She's a kind of a puncher, kind of a puncher swarmer, but she really had trouble with the boxer in Savannah Marshall in this fight. Right away, like I said, that herky jerky style was giving uh, Hannah Rankin a lot of trouble, and she could never really like get her feet set. She was just getting outboxed this whole time, the whole first from the jump. From the first round, she was just getting outboxed, and every time, like Hannah Rankin would try to get her feet set, Savannah Marshall was gone. She was like really landing some hard power shots. She was getting full extension on those shots and just really rocking Hannah Rankin early on. And then like in those middle rounds, she just started really attacking that body. And the way she was attacking her body, man, I was like, wow, how is she still standing? Because you can see Savannah Marshall, she really has power on the end of her shots. And I think that's what's going to make the Clarissa Shield fight even more interesting because I want to see how Clarissa can deal with the power and how she can nullify it. Like, can she get on the inside and stop the footwork of Savannah Marshall? Because I think it was like in the open. I think it was like opening in the third round of this fight too. Like Marshall just came in there with some body shots and like she was just turning angles on Hannah Rankin. I know like Hannah Rankin's not really a fighter with like great footwork, so every time she was trying to throw her jab, like Marshall just moving. She's just moving, keeping her off balance, and then she's going straight to her body. Then she's like doubling up to the head, and she's like taking punishment. Like these, like I said, these are heavy shots. Like she's getting hit like that for like 3 more rounds, and Marshall finally starts walking her down in that last round, and she rips her with like a 12-punch combination. And I was like, what the hell is the referee doing? Like he could have stopped it. That would have been a good moment to stop it. Like you could see in Hannah Rankin's face that she didn't want any more. So like she stepped back and tried to fight her off. Savannah Marshall unloads like another 10 punches on her. And finally, like the referee, I don't know if he's like sleeping or high or whatever, but like he's just like standing there and she actually has to take a knee for him to start counting and wave it off. So I was like, good performance by Savannah Marshall, but bad job on the referee. Cause like she was actually taking some serious punishment in that last round, but that 7th round, but he just would not like stop it. I mean, when you eat like 8 or 9 punches, you got to stop the fight. Well, actually, she didn't even eat like 8 or 9, man. She ate like 20 punches in that last round where I was just like, yo, you need to wave this off. You need to stop this fight. George, would you say this fight could be like the female version of Tyson Wilder? Uh, I don't know. I don't know because who would be Tyson, who would be Wilder in this fight? Because Savannah Marshall has that like jab and herky jerk style with power on the end of her shots, but I think Clarissa Shields is she's nothing like Wilder as far as being technical. Like her technical skill is very very on point. She's very educated with her shots, and she definitely has a nice body attack too. Yeah, so I don't know if it would be like that type of comparison. I think maybe more so it would kind of be like what Tyson Joshua would be. Like maybe like that. But even then I say Clarissa has a very, very educated style. Like she has a very high IQ. People don't give her credit for that enough because they're so focused on the fact that she's not knocking people out. But Clarissa Shields definitely has a very, very high IQ in boxing. She really knows how to pick her punches and throw them and fight different styles. Like even like I don't think she gets enough credit for that Hannah Gabriel's fight. Like after getting knocked down, she was able to get back up and dominate the rest of the fight. But I definitely think that Savannah Marshall, she really does have a good mix of boxing skill, power too, power as well. So I think that's what's going to make this fight even more so interesting because, yeah, she does hold that win in the amateurs over Clarissa Shields. So, we got to see how far things have come since then. How smart has Clarissa gotten since then? Has Savannah Marshall gotten better? So I think all of that's going to come into play. And then you just got this war of words like Savannah Marshall. She's not as loud. She's not as a loud talker. She's more quiet. But the choice of words. Whenever she's talking, the way she picks her words, she's really trying to like dig at Clarissa. Like she chooses the right words because when I hear them, I'm like, oh yeah, I know those are fighting words. Like after the fight, she was like, Clarissa's not the best. She's just there because I'm not there yet. She was just like she's considered the best because I haven't got there yet. So everything she was saying, she definitely wants to try to pick at Clarissa and get a fight going. And I was looking at Clarissa. She reacted. She said, "Hey, she's ready. Clarissa's definitely ready for this fight." What did Clarissa say? I know Clarissa said something like, "Yeah, there's no backing out now." She said you have to back up those words when we get in the ring. So Clarissa's definitely looking for this fight. I see Clarissa definitely looking for this fight, and Savannah Marshall. I know she definitely wants it too because this is an old school rivalry right here, man. But if I have to pick, no, I'm not gonna pick yet. I'm not gonna pick yet. I'm not gonna give y'all that yet. But I am definitely gonna do like a breakdown within the coming months of this fight. Even if it's not made yet, I'm gonna I'm gonna have to break down Clarissa versus Savannah and just kind of match up their styles and see how this fight will play out. Because I think it's the best fight women's boxing can make right now. I mean, I know Katie Taylor wants to fight Chris Cyborg, but this fight right here, it's the one fight I really want to see. This is the main fight right here. I can already see them trying to make Clarissa out to be the villain in this fight too, even though she is like the three division world champion. I can already see people trying to play her out to be the villain in this one. But it's all in how you take it. I think Clarissa just need to go in this one and just focus on the task at hand. Don't get into a war of words with Savannah Marshall because, like I said, Savannah Marshall, she's not a big talker. She can say like I said, she can say the right words to kind of trigger you, but she's not really a big talker. So I think the right thing for Clarissa to do is just kind of work on her game and make sure she can go in and handle this taller, longer fighter with the power. Because Clarissa's about 5'10". You know, um, Savannah Marshall, like I said, she's 5'11". But Savannah Marshall, like I said, she's a big girl. Like she's not really like tall and skinny. She's long and lanky, but I know she can get up to like 180, 175. So she's definitely a big girl. So if they fought, it would probably be at like 160 or maybe 168, or it might be for Savannah's belt. So I could definitely see that fight being like in middleweight or super middleweight, and it would be a good fight. it's definitely gonna be a good fight. So I really got to go back and look at their styles and kind of match them up, and like I said, kind of give y'all like an early prediction on how I think it would go. George, would you say this probably be next year for that fight? Yeah, I definitely think this fight could possibly happen next year. Cause but at the same time, Clarissa's been out like a year now, so I don't know if she wants to get like a tune-up fight or what. Might be wise, cause yeah, Clarissa's been out since January 10th. That Ivana Habazin fight, that was her last fight. So I don't know if she wants to return right back to the ring against Savannah Marshall. Maybe they could do something where they fight on the same night or fight on the same card just to kind of build it up. I could see Clarissa doing one fight for like Showtime, and Savannah Marshall fighting on DAZN like on Saturday night. That would be good build up. So if they do that like an open in 2021, and then they fight sometime in like spring or summer of 2021, that would definitely work. And yeah, George, it'll be a war, man. It's definitely gonna be a war, because like I said, Savannah has got the punching power, and she got the skill to land good shots. She's a long fighter, so she got the skill. I know Clarissa definitely got the skill, and she got the body attack. So we're really gonna see how that plays out, man. Robert Henry, I agree. Shields doesn't have to do a lot of talking, just enough to hype the fight. Just go in there and take care of business. Exactly, man. Like, you know, I like Clarissa. I like her a lot. I've talked to her on Instagram a few times. She follows my Jab Effect page, and I feel like, yeah, she's definitely one of the better fighters of today, men and women, because she fights anybody. She's unified two divisions. She's fought in three world. She's won world championships in three weight divisions. So she'll fight anybody. So I think she don't have to keep talking anymore to prove that. Like, she don't have to react to social media all the time, and just go in there and do what it do. At this point, you just go in there and just do you. Because I'm saying, Savannah Marshall's going to be a tough task. Off of what I see, and what I know, what I feel like I know about boxing, I think this is going to be her toughest fight to date. I mean, she already has that she already has that mental reserve in Clarissa's head that she's won the fight before in the amateurs, So she already has that in Clarissa's head. So, Clarissa already got to go in there and try to figure out how to beat her. She really got to go in there and figure out how to beat her, because she's been in there before. And she didn't win. So that's already like a mental block there, if you will. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fight. Maybe it's going to take like a one fight build up to next year, and if that happens, man, that's what's up. I really want to see that. But let me know in the chat what y'all think. If y'all are familiar with these two fighters. For some of y'all that don't know, but who do y'all have in this fight, Clarissa or Savannah? Oh, George, how about Clarissa versus the chick that beat Alicia Napoleon? I think Clarissa beats her. I think Clarissa beats her too. I think her biggest challenge, her biggest test is going to be Savannah Marshall, from what I've seen. Yeah, because I saw that fight. I can't remember the girl's name, but yeah, I saw that fight. That girl beat Alicia Napoleon. I don't think she poses the same type of threat on Clarissa like Savannah Marshall does. Like Savannah, like I said, she's coming in there, with this real style where she's turning punches over and she's really trying to hurt you. Because sometime in women's boxing, you don't get enough knockouts. Like, you don't get enough women in there really sitting down on their punches and trying to knock you out. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of punches thrown, but there's never really moments where there's the calculated setup, if that makes sense. Like, I don't I don't get that enough in women's boxing, and it might be because they're only 2 minute rounds. You got to remember they're only 2 minute rounds, so they're trying to like fight on crunch time. They're trying to throw a lot of punches. They're trying to throw a lot of combinations to try to steal the round or take the round. But yeah, I think Clarissa, her only threat right now would be Savannah Marshall and vice versa. But yeah, man, let's talk this LFA 94 card. Let's talk this LFA 94 card because, like I said, man, women's MMA was kind of a bust this weekend. If you were looking at, if you look at Bellator and UFC, we only had 2 fights scheduled for the women, and they both got canceled. Man, I was like, damn. I was looking forward to Vita Arteaga, coach. Vita Arteaga versus Desiree Yanez, because when you mentioned it that other week, I had to go back and look at her, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember Vita Arteaga. I just didn't remember her by name, but I remember her by performance. I remember her by performance, and I was like, yo, I want to see this girl go in there and fight. But lo and behold, their fight got canceled. Vita Arteaga, she tested positive. Hope she recovers. Then Saturday for the UFC, we had Courtney Casey versus Priscilla Cachoeira, and I've been hearing everybody in the chat and on Coach's show too. People have been talking about how we don't know what it is, man. We don't. What is it? The weight? Was it COVID? Did she hit her head in the bathtub? I don't know. I'm not going into all that stuff, man. But it's just like, what was it? But in the end, it doesn't benefit us to really know. But all we know is the fight got canceled, right? But yeah, LFA 94. I think they pretty much covered it for us. I think the women's fights on LFA 94 were enough for me to say, okay, who? Courtney Casey, who? I was like, who? But yeah. The preliminary fight between Loveth Patrick Young, and Rena Norville, I was talking about this yesterday, but I think Marcus Bell said he kind of missed it because his PC wasn't working, but he said, like, I think he couldn't hear the whole stream. But yeah, I'll talk about it now. I was saying that Loveth Patrick Young, I was wishing that her fight was streamed on UFC Fight Pass. And if anybody from LFA hears me, man, y'all need to start streaming the preliminary fights as well. I just want to see these fights. You got a lot of fight fans that want to watch the prelims as well as the main card. So start streaming these preliminary cards just like the UFC does on ESPN Plus or UFC Fight Pass. So thankfully I had the luxury of seeing it because shout out to George, he told me it was on the Facebook page, but I also saw it on Loveth Patrick Young, her IG. She posted on her IG and posted the whole fight too because that's how short it was. She got it done and won against Rena Norville. Went in there, showcased her boxing skill and really some superior footwork. And she was able to knock out Rena Norville with a good overhand right. She just landed that good overhand right on her, man. But hold on real quick. Let me check the chat. Coach, calculated setup. I love that terminology. Yeah, that's something I've always said. That's why I didn't know if I wanted to say it. That's something I always say. I'm talking to myself or other people. Calculated setup. But if it makes sense, thank you. Yeah. Vita Arteaga, she was ready to bang, man. That's why I was ready to see that fight. I really wanted to see that fight. Uh, George, the 2 women's LFA fight made up for the Bellator UFC. Damn right. Coach George, how do you highlight a person's name? Are you trying to highlight in the chat? If you just start typing the person's name, it should. Oh, you use the oh, hold on, coach. I'm typing it in now. Use the at symbol. He's like, I seen you do it. Yeah, you seen him do it, man. Highlight, show him how to do it, George. Dang. There you go. You see it, coach? I got you. Okay. But real quick, yeah, like I said, Loveth Young, to me, she showcased some good stand-up skills, boxing, and her counter skills. And this is what you want, man. Like you don't get paid for overtime. If you land that perfect shot early, you get that fighter out of there and make it an early night. And I think that Loveth Young, that's how she sets her punches up. Like she's not gung ho. She doesn't go in there wild. She doesn't go in there like swinging wild shots. She's going in there setting up some nice shots. At the same time, she's on her back foot. You know, she's countering. She's staying busy. So while Norville, the longer, taller fighter, is coming straight in there, you know, you can see just like that nice footwork from Loveth Patrick. She's stepping to her right, and just as Norville comes in, she lands that beautiful check left hook. And like I said, that check left hook, that's one of my favorite punches. As soon as like Norville stepped in over the top, Young was able to land a good right hand over the top, and then she followed up with a nice check left hook, and then she stepped out to her left. Now Norville, she landed some good body kicks here and there. But I feel like Young, she was just sticking that nice jab out there and just judging distance well. And that's the thing I like about a shorter fighter. Like, I think, what was the height difference? The height difference was like maybe 4 inches in this fight. And the reach advantage for Norville was like 5 inches. It was like 5.5 inch reach advantage here, So I was just like, okay, maybe this girl's going to use her height or reach, but Norville, she kind of fights hunched over. So Loveth Patrick, she's just going straight in there. Loveth Patrick just backing up, and she's just actually judging that distance well. Like the shorter fighter is controlling the distance in this fight. That's what was beautiful about it, and that's why I'm saying like shorter fighters, they got to know how to use their boxing skill a little bit smarter. I'm referring to some shorter fighters. They just can't go in there with that rapid style all the time. They got to like judge that distance well, because if you judge that distance well, it'll make the other fighter come to you. Oh, hold on. What's going on, Gary? Does Lupita go to the UFC or at least Contender Series after this fight? She might go to the Contender Series, I think. They might do her like Vanessa Demopoulos, where she goes to the Contender Series. George, Loveth really want to fight for the title. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But yeah, man. Like I said, Norville, she landed some good body kicks, but again, man, like she was fighting at the same height as Young. She was stalking forward instead of using her height. So again, it was really playing into Young's boxing skill. Like I said, I love the way like Loveth Patrick Young is on the balls of her feet. It kind of remind me of Guillermo Rigondeaux, the way she's able to bounce on her, kind of bounce on the balls of her feet and throw those like accurate shots. It's the way she throw those accurate shots. And it was crazy, man. Like over and over, that overhand right kept coming. That straight right hand kept coming, but Norville kept eating it. Norville kept eating those shots and just ignored it and didn't make no adjustment. And I knew it was a matter of time. And again, 2 right hands land, a third one lands right on Norville's chin and drops her. And she gets back up only to eat another right hand. That's what I'm saying. You got to go in for the kill. If you know a fighter's hurt, you go in for the kill. And Loveth Young, she knocked her out. Referee, he stepped in to avoid the onslaught. And she was sitting there like, oh, what happened? Like, why you stop it? I know she had that look, but I was like, no, that's it. That's it, man. Like, he just saved you from an onslaught. It was kind of like Denise Kielholtz versus Kate Jackson. They knock you out. You falling on the way down to the mat, you out cold, and then that impact wakes you up. Then you like, whoa, why you already like, oh, why you stopping? No, you got to go back and look at the replay. That's why they stopped it. All right, what you got? Ernest Richardson, what's going on? Am I tweaking if I think the unrest in America jumps off against the fights for this weekend get canceled? Am I tweaking? What? Am I tweaking if I think the unrest in America jumps off again, the fights for this weekend get canceled? I don't know. Coach Norville thought her size was going to be the end all. Nah, man, that's the thing. Like, her size definitely did not come into play at all, because she didn't use it. She had a 5-inch reach advantage. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not looking at the stats right now, but it was like 5 inch a 5.5 inch reach advantage, and what, like a 4 inch height advantage. Hold on, let me look here, man. I just want to match this up right because yeah, she let a lot of stuff. 4 inch height advantage. Loveth Young is 5'2", Rena Norville is 5'6", and Loveth Young is 63.5 inch reach advantage. Rena Norville is a 68.5 inch reach advantage. So yeah, 5 inch reach advantage, good height and good reach, and she didn't really know how to use it. She was coming in there kind of hunched over, stalking forward, instead of letting the smaller fighter come to her or just judging the distance right. She could have just kept it in the center of the octagon and just kept Loveth on the end of the jab or the end of those body kicks all night, but she didn't know how to use her height. But Loveth Young, like I said, I'm impressed because at 5'2", she really knows how to use her height well on a taller fighter. Because like I said, another way to get in on the taller fighter is to use the overhand right. Straight right hand is okay, but over the top, when you throw that overhand right over the top, that'll get you there. Plus, it'll land with impact. Like I said, when that impact comes down, that's a wrap. And y'all saw that. So yeah, from here, man, Loveth Young, I saw in your her interview, George, because I even asked her that question too, man. She wants to fight for that title, and yeah, man, I'm ready for that. Because the competition there is good in LFA, but at the same time, everybody knows you win a championship in LFA, it'll lead to better things like Bellator or UFC, of course, or the Contender Series. But yeah, I mean, this was a good free fight. So if y'all haven't seen it, man, it's a quick one. Just go to let me see, what is her Instagram? I keep forgetting her name on Instagram. Hold on, because I think she uses her nickname on there too. If you want to see the whole fight, I know she posted it on her Instagram. It's Loveth Patra _ Nigeria _ Terminator. So if you want to see it, it's there, and it's also on her YouTube channel. Hold on, let me see what her YouTube channel is. Hold on. Oh, what's going on, Cedric? I'll answer your questions at the end of the show. When I get to the end, when I do, like just a Q&A, I'll answer your questions at the end there, Cedric. Yeah, thanks for asking some questions, though, Cedric. See, I'm going to answer them at the end. Gary, what'd you say? UFC has been weird with signings. Yeah. George, Cynthia was a taller girl and she got choked out. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, it's on her YouTube as well. Yeah, and on her Facebook. If you go to Loveth Patra, and that's her middle name is EKUFU Young, you can watch the whole fight there. But like I said, if you're like a shorter fighter on the come up, or if you're a boxer on the come up, you can learn a lot from watching some of these fights like this, even these little quick fights like this. I'm talking about footwork, how to throw your left hook, how to throw your right hand. You can definitely learn a lot from watching some of these fights. And like I said, men don't be ashamed either, because they're women. These women will teach some of you guys how to knock people out. So on the real, yeah, you could definitely learn a lot from watching these women fight. But I was impressed. Like I said, I was just impressed by the footwork alone, because that footwork, that's what'll set up your knockout. That's what's going to really set up your knockout. But yeah, what do y'all guys think from here? Loveth Young versus Lupita Benitez next. That would be good. And like I said, I like Sam Hughes too. You could throw her in there. All three of these ladies got some good striking skill, and they would make for some good fights. So let me know what y'all think right there. But yeah, Yeah, let's move on to this main event, man. This main event, LFA 94, the strawweight title on the line. Vanessa Demopoulos versus Lupita Benitez. First off, I gotta say, yo, shout out to both of these ladies, man. They had a lot of heart. A lot of heart, man. I was like, yo, again, man, these women, they put on a show sometimes like these men wish they could. And I think that's what makes me like women's MMA a lot, because I think they really dedicate themselves to like their striking a lot of the times, and the way they're going in there after the win. They really want it. I'm not saying that the men don't, but I'm just saying like the way some of these women come in here, they don't be complaining. They just go right at it. They could be cut, busted up, but they still show the heart. And I know it's still kind of stomach churning for some men. A lot of men don't like seeing women fight like this, but I still do. I don't care if anybody wants to fight, they can fight. Women, I don't care. I feel like everybody needs to learn how to fight. They need to learn self-defense. And if you want to take it to a level of competition, I'm with that too. More power to you. So any woman that wants to fight, I'm cool with that. But yeah, going into this one, man, Vanessa Demopoulos, man, she showed a lot of heart. She showed a lot of heart in this fight. I talked to her on Instagram before, and I had to hit her up after the fight. I said, I love the heart in her, because it was never give up. She was never like frustrated. She never wanted to quit, but she just kept coming. That's one side of Vanessa that I'm gonna talk about real quick. I feel like Vanessa Demopoulos has some heart like no other. She'll just go in there and continue to keep coming and keep trying to find a way to win. She showed that in the Sammy Hughes fight. She was getting outstruck and outclassed, but finally she found a way to win. I think it was that fourth or fifth round where she locked in that inverted triangle and submitted Sammy Hughes. But in this fight here, man, she was just completely outclassed technically, but her heart was always there. She fought hard to the end, and she had some good moments in the fourth and fifth round. That's why I was saying like never stop. And she hit me back, and she was like, yeah, that's her mentality, is to never ever give up. That's why I say shout out to Vanessa Demopoulos. She continues to do her thing, man. But on the other side, if I could tell her something, I definitely want to say that she definitely has to improve on her boxing. She really needs to get accustomed to head movement. Because this is LFA. I mean, if you want to get to the UFC and you want that contract, you need head movement. Just something like that. I say, what you need in head movement. But that head movement is going to save your life and get you some wins. It's going to help you avoid getting knocked out or getting cut up like you did in this fight. That's something I tell her. I feel like seeing her approach to the game, she definitely has the fighter's heart, but she just don't have she's missing a lot of the defensive skills she need. I think that her team's not telling her that, because there was a lot of points in this fight where I was like, yo, this is the champion. Y'all need to make her improve. Y'all need to tell her to move her head. Like, she's really eating shots in here. And I mean, Lupita Benitez, like, she knew from the jump. I mean, she's seen tapes. I seen that Loveth Young fight with Vanessa Demopoulos, and I felt like Loveth Patrick Young edged that fight out against Vanessa Demopoulos. If she didn't take Patrick to the ground, I think Vanessa lost that fight off striking. Then Sammy Hughes was out striking until she was able to submit Sammy Hughes. And now leading into this fight, this is the scare that those fights should have been like warnings to her team. Like, yo, you need to build up your boxing and your striking. Because there's going to be somebody in there that's going to pick you apart. There's going to be a fighter that's going to pick you apart and take your title. And this was that fight. This was that fight where somebody went in there with the solid game plan, used a solid jab, good right hand, and that was it. A good 1-2 this whole fight, and that was all they used. Lupita used a solid 1-2. She didn't really use head kicks or body kicks. She just went in there and worked her with a jab and right hand all night. A couple of left hooks and overhand rights as well. But, she just went in there and pieced Vanessa Demopoulos up right from the jump. I mean, if you look at that first round, that's what you want to see your fighter do. If your fighter's a striker, you want to see them in there with the jab, getting the respect from round one with that pop. You just want to see them pop them in the face like that. Oh, hold on, chat. What you saying? George, Vanessa even wrote a book about being a stripper. Gary Bald and Vanessa's never going to the UFC with that head. That's what I'm saying, man. No, man, like you gotta move your head. You gotta move your head in there, man. I'm like, even if you aren't like the best striker in the world or the best boxer in the world, you got to be able to have the fundamentals to save your own ass. You know what I mean? Nobody's saying you got to be in there and strike like Valentina or strike like Joanna, but you just need to have the grasp of it to understand your opponent's body language. You know, if Vanessa Demopoulos had a grasp in the fundamentals of boxing, she would have been able to predict some of the moves that Lupita Benitez was making. You know what I mean? Like she would have been able to say, okay, I know when she throws that jab, I can slip the jab and land my own jab, or I could slip the jab and come over the top with the right hand. But her first reaction is to just stay right fair, take these shots right to the face and get knocked back. Or her reaction was to run in with flurries, and Lupita Benitez was just back straight out. You know, she would just back straight out, and she kind of laughed at her. Like, there were moments in there where Lupita Benitez was actually smiling in this fight, you know, because she was making her miss that bad. You know, there were moments in there where she was literally like smiling and actually talking to the commentators, which I'm going to talk about in a minute here. But the second round was like the only moment where I feel like, oh, this was about to be it, you know, because she jumped in and got that takedown, and then she got that inverted triangle. She was attempting to get that triangle, but again, man, like Lupita Benitez, she bounced right back up. And the thing I like about Lupita is, as the other fighter is getting up, she's punching your ass. You know, she's landing. So while Vanessa's transitioning back to stand up, she's getting cracked with shots. So, you know, she's eating these shots and getting knocked back and damn near getting knocked out. So that was just like the most dominant performance I've seen, you know, like in that first and second round. And then in the third round, it was pretty much the same. You know, she just going in there, pot shotting, landing a couple of leg kicks now, you know, trying to mix it up a little bit. But, you know, Vanessa, she's just like busted up. Like, I think if Lupita chose to turn it up a little bit, maybe if she would have sat down on her shots, maybe threw like maybe 1, 2, or 3s and landed good solid one, she probably would have got her out of there. But I think sometimes she was just kind of landing like 1, 2s and kind of admiring her work. You know, I think she was just trying to admire her work a little bit, which again, I'm leading to something here. Because the fourth round, I think this was like the best round for Vanessa, because Vanessa started closing in more because Lupita was getting comfortable. You know, Lupita kind of stopped using the footwork here and she was staying in range. So Vanessa's cracking her with more right hands. So she's hitting her now, you know, and she's trying to get her knees in, but you can see like Lupita kind of smiling. You know, Lupita was smiling a little bit, and I think that she wasn't understanding how dangerous she was, or either that she just wanted to do a little bit of showmanship. But there was a point too why she started talking to the commentators. And if I was her trainer, I'd have been like, you need to shut up and focus on the fight. You know, I'd be like, you look, you winning, but you need to shut up, because the minute she started talking to the commentators, Vanessa started tagging her, man. She started unloading it. She tagged her with some good shots, and she like busted her eye. Like, see, the minute you break your focus, that could be it, especially against a very, very tough, dangerous fighter like Vanessa. Because the minute she talked to the commentators, Vanessa let go on her, and then she hit her with like a big right hand, and her eyes started swelling. Like Lupita looked good. You know, she looked good all the way up to the third round. She was untouched. But as soon as she ate that, nose started bleeding. Then she had a cut under the left eye. You know, so I still gave that round to Lupita. I feel like Lupita was taking it. I think it was still 4-0, but I definitely could see why the judges gave round 4 to Vanessa, because she was showing a lot of heart in there and doing a lot of work. But in that last round, man, I gave that to Vanessa because she started taking it to the ground more. She was being more active. She was landing more. And I think that Lupita was kind of taking a break here. She was still pot shotting here and there, but she was more so doing a lot of showmanship, you know, kind of working a couple shots here and there. But I think that Vanessa was taking it with that groundwork. But Lupita showed that strength too. Like whenever Vanessa got her down, Lupita actually picked her up. She picked her up like a baby and walked her to the other side of the ring, and then like dropped her. Well, she didn't drop her hard, but she got back down in the top position. But I still felt like Vanessa did the more better. I think she did the better work in this round. And I just think overall that she still showed that heart to the end. Real quick, what we got? Marcus, move your PG-13 head and stop getting hit in the nose. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. You got to move your head, man. Like you got a strawweight champion in here. I'm like, how's the strawweight champion not moving her head, or how's she not getting a grasp of that? Why are they not telling her this? George, who else is on the LFA fight strawweight fight roster? I'll go over that in a minute. I'll probably go over that like at the end of the show, or I might do it now. Hold on. Sammy Hughes is on there. I tell you that. I talked to her too. She's a cool fighter. She's on that roster though. George trying to find the fight. It's not on YouTube. Yeah, I watched it on UFC Fight Pass. I got a Fight Pass subscription, so I recommend getting one, man. If you really want to see a lot of these fights in their library, I just go back and watch a lot of them, my downtime. So it's worth it, in my opinion, if you get the UFC Fight Pass app. But yeah, in my opinion, the score, I had it 4-1 for Lupita Benitez. Could have been 3-2. I could have saw it that way, but second time I watched the fight, I had it. Second time I had it 3-2 actually. First time I had it 4-1. But I think a lot of the times when Lupita was, doing that showman and, joking, and she was like talking to the commentators, she was talking to the commentators trying to, do that Floyd Mayweather stuff, but you can't do that. You're not on that level yet. I think she might have lost that in some of the judges' eyes. They were like, oh, she talking to the commentators right now. I'm gonna dock her points. I mean, you can't do it because of that, but when she did it, she started getting caught. She started getting caught with some shots, so that's why I would have said, okay, you can take the round from her. But I think one of the judges actually had it a draw, man. I was like, what? Yeah, here's a score. Lupita Benitez, she defeated Vanessa Demopoulos by majority decision. By majority. No way was this fight a majority decision. It was unanimous, in my opinion. I mean, the scores had it for Lupita 49-46, 48-47, and one judge had it 47-47. So I was like, what? I was like, nah, man, this fight wasn't no draw. I mean, it was no draw on that card. It should have been straight up unanimous. Like I said, it was 4-1 or 3-2 at most. George trying to find a fight. It's not. Yeah. It's on UFC Fight Pass. George, Vanessa needs to go back to the drawing board. Oh yeah. Because she definitely got the heart, man. That's why I like her. I mean, she got the heart. She's very athletic. Solid grappler. I just think the boxing fundamentals she's not really getting a grasp of. I mean, I've seen it before in the gym. There's some people who just don't get it, so they have to work harder at it. And maybe she just needs to work harder at it, because you can see in her last 3 fights. 4. If you count that Contender Series fight that she lost to Cora McKenna, she lost that fight just for the same reason. Like I said, if you got good takedown defense and a good jab, they're going to take you apart. She had no way to beat Cora McKenna. If you go back and watch that fight, Cora McKenna, she schooled her on the feet as well. So yeah, Sammy Hughes, Loveth Patrick Young. If you're talking about all those fighters, Cora McKenna, this fight, they all tell you something. They all tell you the same thing. Vanessa Demopoulos has got to move her head. She's got to move her head. And I mean, if y'all can see that picture right there, look at her face, man. She has cuts on top of cuts here, man. Yeah, if you zoom in, she has 5 cuts. She's got 5 cuts on her face. She has first round she got cut over the brow. Second round she got cut over the cheek, and then they just started piling up because the accuracy with them jabs were they were slicing, man. She was slicing her with good like overhands and like left hooks. It was a beautiful performance, man, by Lupita, until she started getting cocky. Gary Baldwin, she needs to work on her wrestling. Yeah, Yeah, her grappling is good, but she needs to work on her wrestling, man. Like if she gets the fundamentals of a good strike, good striking, from a good striking coach, 1-2s, then she could get in there with them body locks and kind of use those hip tosses a little bit better. But like there was a moment I want to say in the fifth round was what she really needed to do. Like the fifth round, Vanessa let her hands go, right? And when she let her hands go, she was getting results because Lupita threw like a jab or right hand, and when she threw it, Vanessa slipped. Vanessa slipped it, and then she got the body lock in the takedown. I think that was like in the fifth round. So she really needed to get that head moved down. I mean, like if you move your head, you'll see it open and then you can take it. Which yeah, that was like the only time she really got that solid takedown. I mean, she got one in the second round, but fifth round was impressive to me because she timed Lupita on the inside and she ducked the head. She ducked her head and then she grabbed the body and took her down. So that was impressive to me. And her heart's impressive. Like I said, you got a lot of heart, man. Girl got a lot of heart. And that's what I'm saying. If you got a fighter that wants to fight and they don't cry, they don't quit or tap out, then you really need to you really got to work on that fighter's wrestling or boxing. You need to perfect that fighter. But you know what? There's also fighters having a lot of heart, but do some fighters have that brain to want to soak it up? That's another question. Like you got fighters with big hearts, but then you got fighters with brains like sponges that need to soak up. So some people who want to fight, some people who want to fight, they just fight, but they don't really want to improve. George, she might need Jason Perillo. Yeah, man, she might need him, or she might need Ronnie Shields, or in boxing she might need Ronnie Shields, or who else? Names are escaping me right now. Ronnie Shields or Derek James or some of these boxing coaches. Uh, Andre Rozier. Some of these people, some of these trainers that can really show her how to move the head, man, and just throw a nice jab. So yeah, like I said, overall it was a good fight. LFA 94 was a good fight. Good fight card. I don't know if y'all remember the other guy from the Tough Contender series. He lost. What was his name? Joe Giannetti. He's just kind of been on the downside. Like I was a fan of him on the Tough Show until he got that Tough finale fight. He didn't do a damn thing in that, man. I was like, yo, Joey Giannetti. He lost to Aaron McKenzie last night, 30-27. Man, he pretty much got dominated. But yeah, solid women's card. Like I said, my quick final thoughts on that fight. Let's see. I think Lupita definitely has solid striking. I think Lupita really has a solid foundation too. I wanted to say that she's very strong. Like Lupita has good wrestling. Yo, Gary, that's one thing. I think she didn't really have to use it. Lupita actually has good wrestling. I know Vanessa, she needs to work on hers, but Lupita had good wrestling. You could see like the way she was tossing Vanessa a couple times whenever she was getting out. Like she played a smart game. Like she has good wrestling, but she kept it standing because she knew her stand up was better. So yeah, Lupita has a good IQ. Good solid striking, good IQ, very strong. Vanessa, on the other hand, like I said, solid grappler, but needs to work on her wrestling skills. Definitely needs a striking coach. Got to work on the head movement. But yeah, these two ladies like that with heart, they definitely make for good fights, man. Definitely. All right, so moving on to the last topic, you got Avante Tank David versus Leo Santa Cruz. George wins the next LFA show, November 20th. Cause my girl Flora Hani, I interviewed. She's fighting on that card. Yeah, She posted up. She told me, yeah, November 20th. I think it's the same day as the Invicta card. Yeah, LFA 95 is on November 20th because, yeah, Flora Hani, she's fighting on there. She's fighting Tabitha Ricci. Hold on. LFA 95 is November. Yeah, it's November 20th, George. So, yeah, I'm going to tune into that one. So, yeah, man, real quick, Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. Tank Davis, he got it done, man, in 6 rounds. Very, very solid knockout. Good performance by Tank Davis. I feel like he really dealt with some adversity in this fight. You know, I think that early on, Leo Santa Cruz, he was having success with his volume punching. I think it was a style that Tank Davis, he was trying to get accustomed to in there. You know, he kind of wanted to test him out a few times. So I think early on, Leo Santa Cruz, he won the early rounds. But I think that when Tank felt like he could take his power and he could get on the inside, then it was going to be a wrap. You know, Leo Santa Cruz, like I said in my prediction video, he's going to try to box and use his legs, but he doesn't really have the same, he doesn't really have the ability to become a slick boxer overnight. Because to beat somebody like Tank, you gotta move your head and counter. You know, Leo Santa Cruz, he can judge the distance all night. You know, he could keep at a range, but if he's in that high guard and he's just like keeping range, then eventually Tank is gonna make that adjustment and just walk him down. You know, and the one thing Tank is gonna do is split that guard, like I said in my prediction, with the left uppercut or the right jab, and then he's going to go to the body, because when you hit them arms and elbows, I mean, Tank got the power to really do damage. So eventually Tank was going to break him down physically. I knew that. I knew he was going to do that. Like, I felt like Leo Santa Cruz wouldn't have absorbed so many shots, and he would have lasted till maybe like 10 or 11. But this just shows you, like, yo, the force of Tank. Like, Tank's going to come in there and break you down. You know, and I think when Tank saw in like round 4 and 5, he saw that the body punches were really slowing Leo Santa Cruz down, and they were doing damage. Like, you could see the reaction in Leo Santa Cruz's face that, yo, these body shots are hurting. You know, so the way he was surrendering and kind of, you know, falling back, Tank was able to walk him in more. You know, Tank took a couple good punches too as well. You know, Tank took some of those volume shots as well. But like I said, Tank, he's just a monster. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about being a warrior, you know, going in there for that moral victory. No, when you hit him, it pisses him off to come back. You know, it's not even just about defense right there. So it's about get back with Tank. So when Tank is taking these shots, he's going to bust through your guard and get you. So when Tank realized in like round 4 and 5 that he could pick those shots and go around to the side and the body shots were hurting, it was pretty much easy from there. Because this fight was basically similar to, if you've seen Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios. You know, when you're talking about a brawler who likes to fight and going on the inside and have that heart, and they want to take a shot, they can do that against like guys with that are light punchers. But when you're talking about somebody with heavy hands like Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios, Danny Garcia is gonna crack you until you fall, and you're gonna fall. You know, it might not be round 4 or 5, but you're gonna fall. And I think the same thing was here. Like, a lot of people say, oh, okay, he's landing punches on Tank, but Tank knows, like, as long as I keep landing this left hand, sooner or later he's gonna fall. You know, the warrior in heart can't hold up for so long, because the brain is gonna say nothing. It's gonna shut down. You know, the brain is gonna just lock in and shut down and say that's it. I remember, Danny Garcia kept cracking Brandon Rios with the overhand right, and he kept taking it, right? He kept coming into the pocket. And then all of a sudden, I think it was the same thing, like 6 or 7 rounds, Danny hit him with one right on the chin. He just fell. Because your body can't take that type of impact over and over. You know, it's like somebody keeps hitting you with a rock over and over in the head. Your brain is going to shut down or die. And, you know, sadly, I'm not trying to make fun, but yeah, he could have died in here. Leo Santa Cruz, like, you continue to take a crowbar to the head, or somebody who's hitting you with the impact of a cinder block over and over to the head, Yeah, you can say, "Oh, I took that. I can take that." No, you need to start moving your head, or you're gonna die. And yeah, that's not nothing to be funny about. But I'm just saying, like, Tank is really going in there with that force on these shots. So now's not a time to prove you're a warrior. There's no moral victory in boxing. There's no moral victory in MMA either. So if you want to go in there and say I took his shot all day long, fine. You take them shots all day long, you'll be taking a wheelchair home. But yeah, I like the fact that Leo Santa Cruz, he wanted to take this fight. I give him a lot of credit for that. I definitely give him credit because I feel like, it is in him to fight the best. But the thing about Leo Santa Cruz, like I said, he can't improve overnight and become a boxer. You just can't become a boxer overnight. You just got to do what you can with your style. Keep the distance, use combinations and move. Combinations and clinch. That's not in your style to be a slick boxer. So if he didn't do that, Tank was just gonna break his will. And like I said, my prediction, Tank was just gonna break him down physically. And that's what makes Tank Davis dangerous in like the lightweights, man. Like anywhere from 130 up to 140, possibly 140, but 135. Tank really has that style and power that a lot of these guys like Tiafimo, Lomachenko, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, I don't think they're ready for physically. They have to make sure that they're on point with their IQ because physically, Tank is a different little, he's a little monster. He's definitely a little monster in there, man. And I think like his shots to the elbows, his shots to the body, it'll break your ass down. Yeah, smash the like button. Yes, sir. George, Santa Cruz looked like that scene from The Exorcist when the girl spun her head around. Oh, you crazy. He was out though, man. Like, yeah, when he took that shot, his body was limp and he was laying half almost out of the ring. Like he looked like he was gone. Like he wasn't rocked. He wasn't, like I mentioned earlier, the Povetkin Dillian White knockout. It wasn't like that where he woke up on impact. Like, usually when you get knocked out, guys get knocked out, they're asleep on the way down and then they'll wake up when they hit the mat. Nah, like Santa Cruz, he hit the mat, he was still out, man. That was rough. But yeah, I definitely got to say this was a knockout of the year. I mean, we got 2 more months, but I don't know if anybody's going to top the way the Tank landed that big left uppercut. Because, yeah, in that 6th round, whenever Tank knew that he was hurting him with body shots, he just continued to put that pressure on him. And Leo Santa Cruz already knew it, that I can't take any more of these shots. I'm going to try, but eventually it's coming. And off of the ropes, Leo Santa Cruz landed a couple good combinations. He landed a good right hand. Tank took a step back, let him miss a shot. Boom, slipped that left uppercut, like you see in that picture, right to the side of the ear by that temple and shut him down. But yeah, like I said, it was an overall good night of fights, man. Starting with, fight weekend, Friday was solid. Uh, I didn't watch the UFC card. I don't know, Robert George. Did y'all watch that UFC card? It's crazy. I didn't even watch it. I didn't watch it. Did y'all watch it, George? Anderson Silva versus Uriah Hall. I really don't want to see legends like that take beatings like that, man. If you're just coming in there to get beat down and say farewell, it's not really something I want to see. That's why I didn't watch it. I wish him the best. I wish him good health. I wish he didn't take this fight. So I can't really say much about the UFC card this time. I watched a lot of boxing. Boxing had good fights. Who else did I watch? Derek Chisora, which I'll talk about in another video. Derek Chisora versus Alexander Usyk. I'm gonna talk about that in another video. What else did I watch? Yeah, of course, Savannah and Hannah. Yeah, boxing had me this weekend, man. Boxing had my full attention. Boxing had like 3 cards: DAZN, ESPN, and Showtime. So yeah, boxing was on point this weekend. But yeah, definitely had to do a episode here talking about the LFA card. Shout out to the ladies because I felt like they were doing it. They they saved MMA this weekend. Definitely saved MMA. Love with Patrick Young, Rena Norville, Vanessa Demopoulos, Lupita Benitez. Shout out to all them straw weights. And yeah, man, that's pretty much the topics right now. But yeah, let me go back and do this little wrap up here, man. What were you asking me earlier, George, about the straw weights? Let's see, man. Let's see what the LFA straw weights have. Yeah, so that's everything I really wanted to talk about, in this live stream, y'all. So let's see what y'all want to talk about real quick. Cedric C, I know you had some questions, so I'll go back and answer them. Hold on. So the women's strawweight roster in the LFA is Vanessa Demopoulos, Kelsey Arneson, Dana Greu, Sam Hughes, Pauline Messias, Nadine Mandiel, Tabitha Ricci, Valerie Soto, and Loveth Young. They didn't name Lupita Benitez on this roster. I think this needs to be, it needs to be updated. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got about 10 strawweights in the LFA, George. Yeah, that was a car that was a roster, George. If you heard it. Marcus, I did, but I felt like torture trying to watch that card. Man, I didn't even watch it, man. I didn't watch a single fight on there, bro. I couldn't do it, man. I just didn't even really. I didn't really have no desire to see it, which is crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, back up here. Let's see, Cedric C. What you say? Did you check out the Michaela Mayer fight? I did. I actually watched that. I was actually flipping back and forth between that and the Showtime card, but I saw Michaela Mayer beat what's her name, Bonica, won her first world title. They didn't even have her belt in the ring, man. I was like, what? Like she was waiting on her belt, and they didn't even have it. I think they said, but Bonica, whatever her name is, she had it in their locker. But Michaela, she did okay. She was doing a lot of stalking in this fight, really trying to walk down the girl that kept moving. I think her performance is all right. I mean, shout out to her coach. He was being honest. He said he gave Michaela a B. And that's pretty much what I gave her. I mean, it wasn't like an A-class performance. I definitely give her a B. What's next for Penny Kansan? I'm not sure, man. I see her on Instagram. I don't really see her like. I haven't seen her post anything lately. Penny Kansan, what's she up to? I know since that loss to, who did she lose to? Julia Avila, right? She lost to Julia Avila last year. Then since then she beat Jessie Jess and she beat Betch Coer back over the summer. So I could see them lining up Penny Kansan and somebody like Sarge Eubank or something like that. Or Ketlin or something like that. What's next for Betch? Betch got cut. I don't know what's up with her. Ketlin Vieira, what's next? I don't know, man. Like maybe Ketlin and like Holly or Ketlin and GDR for like a title eliminator. I don't know what's up with her yet. Cedric, how to watch LFA? Watch LFA through UFC Fight Pass. You just got to get that app, UFC Fight Pass. That's how you watch LFA. Stephanie Edgar, Irene Aldana has a good injury. I think it'll be a while. Yeah, Irene Aldana got that foot surgery she's recovering from. Marcus, yeah, boxing was on point. Yeah, Hell yeah, yeah, I was back on it, bro. Yeah, the box was on it this weekend. That's why I say Tank got full credit for this. Tank got full credit for this fight, man, because he was in there against a tough game guy, Leo Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz looked big in there, and he's the guy that won the fight, so they answered the call. I mean, from here, Tank, I'd like to see him in there with Tiafimo or Ryan Garcia. But yeah, Marcus don't know why, but I'm not completely sold on Michaela. I'm kind of with you on that. I think fighters really need to just be. I think fighters really need to improve before I can really see. Or they need to show me something. And I think Michaela's a hard worker. I think she's definitely a hard worker. But yeah, I'm still waiting to see like a standout performance from her. So yeah, I kind of agree with you on that, Marcus. I think I'm not completely sold. I think that there's still some things she needs to work on. I feel like even Katie Taylor has a little something about her, that I say she stands above the rest. Amanda Serrano does, and of course Clarissa Shields does. But yeah, I think Michaela still needs to work on something. UFC is giving Beth a retirement fight. George Panny needs to fight Bea Malecki at 145. Yeah, Panny was a featherweight. She was a featherweight in that tough house, so they just need to make that. They just need to make that featherweight division. They need to make it happen if they really want to do that. But yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been fun on another stream with y'all. Been on for about an hour and 17 minutes now. So I might be wrapping it up here in a minute. If y'all got some other questions. Winnie Clear, how many more wins you think Kat needs at Bellator to get to Chris Cyborg? I really don't think any fight's going to prepare her for Cyborg. So I think she needs to take maybe one more fight and then fight Chris Cyborg. Because really think about it, Chris Cyborg, that's just another beast, man. Like she's nothing's gonna prepare you for Chris Cyborg. So I think Kat's already the fighter that she is gonna be, and she's on her way out the door. So I really think she just needs to take advantage of this moment, business wise, and get the bag. Maybe get another fight or two, and then get the bag. Maybe fight Julia Budd and then get the bag. So I don't know. Marcus, the girl Katie Taylor is fighting can't fight someone bigger than her. Yeah, I still want to see her Miranda Serrano fight, man. Cedric, what happened to Patty's front tooth? Oh, she got that thing knocked out. I had asked her about that on Instagram one time. Well, I told her it looked cool or something like that. She, laughed. I told her it gives her character, man. Having that tooth knocked out. So yeah, she got it. I can't remember which fight, but yeah, she got it knocked out. Robert, I have a question. Able the community tab. Did you always have a community tab on your channel, or did you request for or needed to request a certain number of subs or watch hours? Um, do I have a community tab on mine? I never even checked. Hold on. I don't even know if I have a community tab. Where do you see that community tab at, Robert? Where do you yeah, let me know where you see that community tab, Robert. I don't see it. Where is it? Yeah, let me know where you see that tab at. Or I don't know where it is. All right, George. So who should Tank fight next? Floyd said maybe one more fight before he fights Tiafimo. But I want Tiafimo or the winner of Robert Garcia versus Luke Campbell or Lomachenko. Yeah, so Tank got to fight. Tank has to fight Lomachenko, Tiafimo, or Ryan Garcia. Either one of those names, in my opinion. Yo, Cedric C, what's your Instagram? I got an Instagram posted right there, man, on the picture. If you're watching here on YouTube, it's on the picture there. I think it is. Hold on. Yeah, it's on there. It's at Combo Breaker 99. That's an IG. Marcus Panties front tooth got kicked out during Tough. Right? Yeah, yeah. Because I remember, yeah, that's when it was. It was back in the Tough House like a couple years ago. Yeah. Or Robert, I guess now as coach, it should appear in the row of options once you push the channel icon. Oh, home videos, playlists. Oh yeah, yeah. I was right there too. I was looking at that. Yeah, I don't have that there. Yeah, I still don't have that. Yeah, I still don't have that, Robert. Yeah. Cedric, Courtney Casey didn't fight last night. No, because Priscilla Cachoeira was out on whatever injury. I don't know what it was. It was certain things they said, but I don't know exactly what it is. Head injury, COVID, or weight. Julia Avila, since her loss to Sarge, I can see her definitely getting back in there soon. Nothing. I didn't see her post nothing new yet though. But yeah, yeah. Who's fighting this weekend anyway, man? What's going on this weekend coming up? Let's see. November 7th. Who we got this weekend? Oh yeah, we got that. We got Claudia Gadelia versus Yarn Zhao this weekend. Only women's fight on the card coming up this Saturday, man. What the hell? Dang. So yeah, we ain't got no women's fights coming up except Claudia versus Yarn this weekend, man. They need some more active women out here, man. I mean, they are more active than Bellator, but still. Well, let's see Thursday, Bellator. Thursday in Bellator. Hold on. Thursday, Bellator 251. Let's see who's on their card. Again, we don't have too many. We don't have any women fighting on the Bellator card. Oh, hold on. Janae Harding versus Jesse Melee is fighting Thursday. Yeah, so y'all can check that out. This Thursday, Bellator 251, you got Janae Harding versus Jesse Melee. That's a fight coming up. I'm gonna watch that fight. That's gonna be a good featherweight fight. It's on the prelims card. Cedric, who you want to see fight? Casey and Avila. Who you want to see fight? Casey and Avila. Aspen Ladd is still out on surgery or knee surgery. And Courtney Casey, I don't know who Courtney Casey fight next. Montana or Pauliana Boteo. That would be interesting. I'd like to see Jessica I go in there and hand it to I'd like to see Miranda Maverick go in there and handle Jessica I. That would be good. Take her out of the top 10. Julia Avila, like to see Tracy Cortez and Julia Avila fight. That would be good. Yeah, that would be a good fight. Julia Avila versus Tracy Cortez. Mm-hmm. I wonder what is flight restrictions. The reason we aren't seeing many women fight lately. I think a lot of UFC women fighters are from all over the world. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe, but shoot, they be out doing other stuff. You know, I think that a lot of these women can hit the road. I don't really think there is too many flight restrictions. I know some people now that are going not overseas, but they're going to islands and they're flying, man. And you know, Dana usually does his certain flights that they can get to. So I mean, they should be able to fly wherever. When it comes to fights, you know, I don't know if he's still doing his private jets or airlines, and he can have them fly them straight to the city they need to be in. So I don't know. But yeah, y'all, it's been real once again to come through here and just talk different fights. I hope I gave y'all some good information to kind of think about here. To kind of go back and look at with some of these fights. But I'm about to wrap this thing up here, man, and gotta put out some other videos too. There's a couple post fight analysis videos I want to do, so I gotta put those out. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump on that. But yeah, man, thanks thanks for coming through. Thanks for everybody coming through. Robert Henry, Marcus Bell, George, Cedric C, Coach. Thanks for coming through the live stream. Gary Baldwin. But yeah, I know Coach might jump on his panel tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the flyweight division. Might actually get on here too and talk about some different things again tomorrow. Just some generic MMA women's MMA talk. Lexus Davis. Oh man, what is up with Lexus Davis, man? I don't know, man, where Alexis Davis is, man. It might be time to retire. But yeah, Love with Patrick Young. Check out that interview on George's page, All the Rage George page. That was a good interview. She's a very cool fighter. Yeah, man. Like always, man, just make sure y'all subscribe. I post information up there all the time. Thanks for donating, George, Robert, Coach. Everybody who donated to the Cash App, appreciate that. But yeah, information right there. Y'all want to subscribe? I'm gonna come back and do an episode. CB99 talks. Drop that on Thursday. That's why I drop the episode every Thursday. But yeah, always, make sure y'all subscribe. And I'm about to get up out of here. Combo Worker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.